Hello, and we're live again with my Learn and Grow Snappy Chat. I'm super excited to be here. I think I'm doing this for over 2 years now, and I still love every single conversation. So I'm Christine Bell. We're not here to talk about me, but briefly, I'm a strategist. I love helping clients really get clear on their strategy so you can win in your market. And it's all about making sure you're consistent and that you're relevant and engaging. So that's all about me. You can learn more about that. But today we're going to talk about challenges we all face in business, because guess what? Most of us face the same challenges and can get really, really lonely sometimes, especially if you're a small business owner or a founder or startup. It can get very, very lonely. So with that in mind, I love my new guest coming in here. Tracey, it's the first time you were having you on here. I really appreciate you having time for this. So Tracey, please tell us a little bit more about yourself. I know you're all into AI, and that's definitely an area I'm not as great in. I would say I'm one of those latecomers to the game, but please share a little bit more about yourself.
Look, honestly, thank you so much, Christine. And it's quite funny because we've been connected on LinkedIn for many, many years now. And I've always admired what you do. So especially in the strategy network or area, should I say. And I can't do what I do without someone like you. So
I think that's the case for most of us. You know what? I think you just brought out something really important. And by the way, hello, Roy. So great to see you here. I really appreciate your support. He's lives in Arizona. So thank you for tuning in from America. I was just going to say, you know what? You just said, I can't do what you do, but isn't that the truth in business, especially when we build our own business from scratch, whether we are founder, startup, small business owner, whatever. We suddenly have to learn all sorts of different things, because one thing leads to the other thing. And next thing you know, you need a copywriter just like Royce and a marketing strategist as well, which is also we all need each other. That's basically what I've learned.
And this is the thing, like I think as small business owners and solo business owners especially, we try and wear all the hats, and we are not experts. Generally, we are not experts in absolutely everything to do with our business. We may be subject experts in what we are providing, but we're not experts in business. So we do pick up things along the way, which makes life a little bit easier. But at some point, we have to bite the bullet and just go, hey, I don't know this, and I need to bring in someone. And that's being smart in your business. But a little bit about me is I'm actually an educator. I have a degree in education and have been educating people for probably close to 30 years now, maybe even a bit more, and started off educating children and loved teaching. But I wanted more. I had this entrepreneurial sort of little tweak in me, and coming from my parents, and I really, really, really wanted to explore that. So I've had many little businesses along the way, plus a couple of big ones too. One bricks and mortar, and one a mobile business, which was my gymnastics club. So I've picked up skills along the way. But what happened was during COVID, like a lot of people, my business was online, and people's money, they were being very frugal with their money and really needed to tighten their belts. And so services like mine as a nutrition coach dwindled. So I had to look for a job. And there's nothing wrong with having a job, don't get me wrong. It's just it goes against my grain. But I did. I had to go look for a job and became an executive assistant. While doing that, because I'd been the LinkedIn spotlight of Australia for 2019, this person picked me up as an EA, and unbeknown to me, because I didn't really have a job description, he also wanted all of his social media done as part of my role as well. So I was doing about 60, 70 hours a week, and hands in every single pot. And, you know, he had 3 businesses that were live. And so I was EA for all of those, and finance manager and all this social media manager, everything, right? Events manager, you name it. And anyway, as part of that, I was just really overwhelmed. and AI came onto the scene late 2022, early 2023. And I found someone who had the first ever world first certified program for AI, and a specific method called the AI persona method. And I jumped on board straight away because I needed help. I needed to free up my own time. And I went through the whole course, then I went through the certification, and I became the third person in the world to be certified in this method. So I was really proud of myself for that, and then was using it in my job, and I was saving like 10 hours a week in using this method with AI. So for me, and look, I love it because it's constantly changing, like the platforms and the updates, and it's getting better and all the rest of it.
It's just going so fast.
Every single day. It does. It moves so fast. But the method that I have been certified in doesn't change. And that's the beauty of it. So I love it. So I get to use it in a whole variety of different ways, but the actual method itself doesn't change. So I'm very thankful. I'm going to give a huge shout out to Jeff J. Hunter here. I know he's all over LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, he's everywhere. But he was the one who did the first certification in the world. And I am so grateful, and I just wanted to say that. But that's a little bit about me. So I got out of that job and saw a huge need in the market, jumping on board, opportunity, all of that sort of stuff with AI. And it's been a big learning curve, don't get me wrong, especially business. But for me, having this business now for 2 years, I've had it, and it's been the best decision of my life. Has there been struggles? Yes, but it's still been the best decision of my life. So that's a little bit about me. I'm also a mum and a wife and all of those sorts of things.
The other things. I love that. Yeah. You know what? I love that you still say, despite all the ups and downs, COVID, etc., you still think it's the best thing in your life, and I think that's amazing. I just want to say hello to Jackie Holberg. She's amazing, also in the US. I appreciate you being here. And Roy says you're way ahead of your curve, Tracey. Very true. And we've got Lisa here as well saying, "Well done, ladies. We appreciate you being here." And I think that's the key thing is we gotta feel into ourselves and who we are and what we're about and what really resonates with us and what we want to spend our life on, not just being a mum or a parent, as important as that is. For some people, that's full time, and I love that as well for them. But we got to feel into who we are and what we want to be and how we want to show up in this world. And what does that look like, whether it's a business or job, etc. So I love that you found something that you are so passionate about. No, it's not easy, but if we're passionate about something and we have a dream, that is what's going to get us through, I truly believe.
Absolutely. And, I've had many iterations of Tracey. This is probably Tracey 10.0. I don't know.
Always updating, right? Just like AI. Always updating.
I'm a huge believer in personal and professional development. And I think that's something that all of our viewers would absolutely agree with, that, personally and professionally developing yourself on a constant basis and then putting that into practice, that's the key, is something that, we should always be doing. So that's my little takeaway there.
I love that. And you just have Lisa P says business is hard and so rewarding. Isn't that case? Even when it's tough, absolutely, there's something so rewarding in terms of building. For me anyway, I like creator. I'm a creator. So I like creating something, and I like to create something that's truly resonates with who I am and how I feel I can empower others, because I want to empower others, not just take their money. I actually want them to walk away with skills, which is the teacher in me that you and I have in common in terms of this.
Yes.
I love teaching, and I didn't realize how much I loved it until I started getting into creating, because I lost my business over the lockdowns, and starting over and really for teaching more and for training and educating, and it just fills my heart to the point where I now also teach at the business school. I also want to say hello to Osman. Thank you for being here. He says greetings from Osman. How are you all? We're having a great day. It's nice to meet you all right now. Appreciate you being here live. And Jackie says passion in life makes the world so much easier. And I like that you said, put it in quotation, Jackie. because it's easier, but it does make it easier in its own way, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. And I think it gets you through those hard days when you feel like you're banging your head against a brick wall. And sorry for all the colloquialisms that come out of my mouth, but that's the way I talk. I think it's because I've taught little kids for so long that the colloquial and trying to relate it comes out. But
analogies are always great.
Well, makes the world go round in my world anyway. But passion, having that passion for something, when it is those hard days, it gets you through. You know, it's like how the professional development gurus say, you know, you've got to have a really strong why as to why you are doing something, whether that's in a job, whether that's in your own business, whether that's with your family life. You know, you might be having a personal challenge, but having that really strong why you're doing something is what will get you through on those hard days. So I really, you know, that is a big value of mine, is that, you know, that resilience and that just pushing forward, but not being silly about it, because I have been burnt out. And that's what happened in my job, the last one. I got completely and utterly burnt out. And
it wasn't your business either, right?
Wasn't my business. And it was, I learned something really valuable about myself during that period. And it was all about, I was a yes person. I didn't value my time and put in those boundaries. So if I had said no a lot more, then I wouldn't have been, well, there would have been less chance of me burning out, I suppose.
And you probably wouldn't have stayed, right? You probably wouldn't have stayed, because I think, you know, there's everyone, and I just want to say Jackie, of all people, Jackie Holberg has the biggest why in the world. She actually helps people who have been in prison to help re-enter society in America, which is a huge challenge, but also requires so much passion and love for other people. So we appreciate her and calling her out and giving you a shout out, Jackie. But I think you're right in terms of, I've had the same learning, by the way, in my own ways, in terms of always saying yes and always giving. And it's like, well, the big aha was one day I sat down going, well, what am I getting out of it? Why am I doing that? Where is it that I'm selling myself short? And it came back to looking for validation, silly enough, especially breadcrumb validation for people who can't give validation. And suddenly I'm like, wow, hold on, this has got to stop, right? And suddenly once you have that awareness, you go,
it's amazing when you actually have that insight, because from that point, you then start valuing yourself more because you understand it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you understand where it's come from as well. I did a lot of deep work with Karim Bokta. So if anyone wants to know about Karim Bokta, he is on LinkedIn. He's also on Facebook and everywhere else as well. But he has a method that hypnotizes you as well, and gets back down to why you do the things you do and how to change it. So that was really enlightening. And I needed that. That was at the time that I was in full burnout. And he rescued me. So, well, as he would say, I rescued myself.
Exactly. I was just about to say he helped you rescue yourself. He didn't do it for you.
Exactly. You still have to do the work. And that's the other thing, like with business. And sorry, I'm going to bring it back. I always get off sidetrack, so sorry about that.
No problem. That's what Snappy Chat is for. We'll just see where it goes.
But even with business, you know, you can go all over the place. Like, it's never a straight line. So with my business, I started off with one niche and went, right, this is what I'm doing. Went full hog into that, got clients, everything. It was great.
Yeah.
Then I listened to some sort of guru, well, someone who was claiming to be, and changed influenced my decision on what my niche was. And I changed that and it went south. I certainly didn't regain or get more clients, especially in that niche. And I'm now at the stage where I'm thinking, like, I've got a lot of speaking gigs in that niche. That's great. But unfortunately, that niche is not willing to spend money on their professional development in that area. They want things for free or for really cheap, or let's learn. I've got nothing wrong with learning off YouTube. Like, YouTube's great, but when it's a specialisation like what I do and everything, you need that deeper learning and that deeper understanding, and that implementation, because a lot of business owners don't do the execution. They have all this strategy, which is awesome. They have a plan, which is awesome, but then they never execute. And a lot of the time,
and sometimes people execute without a strategy, a plan in place, and they just go shooting at the throwing money.
Monkeys in the water barrel or something like that, isn't it? The saying goes, like shooting monkeys in a barrel or something like that. Anyway, but and you're right. It's absolutely true. Very well, the smart business owners who've usually learnt along the way and been burnt along the way, you find that they understand they need a strategy and they need execution.
And they need to go together, those two.
They need to go together. They're not in silos either, you know, and I think solo business owners especially, and smaller business owners where they don't have the staff to actually bounce ideas off, I think really struggle with the silo aspect, and they keep everything in their little silos instead of understanding that things actually have to come together and work together to achieve the common goal.
And I think it's such a good point you made. And
it's really interesting.
Sorry, I think I'm cutting over you. Sorry, it was cutting out. Sorry. The joy of the internet, hey? Welcome to the internet. I just want to say hello to Randy House. He says hello to Tracy and Lisa and Roger as well, and Jackie and everyone. We appreciate you being here, Randy. He's also in the US, so it's a good time for the US to pick up. I think you're so right. This thing of working in silo is actually, whilst obviously sometimes we have to, especially with the one-man band or with the founder, there's a certain part, I think we have to learn certain skills. Actually, we do need to learn certain skills even outside our comfort zone, just so we can still be in charge and empowered in terms of being an empowered business owner, a founder. But after that comes, okay, actually, I need to learn things, right? I need to actually, if I don't know these things, then I need, like for me, I needed to learn finances and zero and all those stuff. Does it interest me? Not at all. Would I rather pay someone to do it? Absolutely. Is it good for me to learn the top basics? 100%, because otherwise, how can I be in charge of and make empowered decisions for myself? Definitely. So I think we all need to learn. And I think with the AI, it's such an interesting space, because I'm not a AI person per se. I'm like a total lagger. I believe in human connection, but do I also believe AI can bring some really important benefits? 100%. It's not black and white. It's just, figuring out how to use it in a way that's really comfortable. And I think that's possibly some people that might be hesitating right now, who are your ideal customers, are the ones who are possibly hesitating a little bit, but they know that they can gain so much from it, including well-being, because they don't need to be as burned out as we are when we're trying to juggle everything. And just also getting more acquainted with it in a way where we go, oh my God, it's not taking over my life. It's not changing who I am. It's not, it's not a robot. It's just me using technology in a really smart way, in a personalized way. And I think what I love about you is it's about the personalized way that you do it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally agree with that, because the comments that I hear all the time is, oh, AI is going to take my job. I can't get it to sound like me. It just sounds like a robot. And yes, it will if you don't train it correctly. And I think that's the difference. And I put the human inside of AI, because no matter what, AI is a tool. It is not a human. And you can get it to sound about 80, 90% you, with all your nuances, with your humor, with everything that you say and do. But it's that last 10 to 20% that will always need a human, because you want to make that connection with your audience. And it's also a case of AI makes mistakes. It is, humans make mistakes. So if you treat your, in my business, as in copywriting and even in business operations, you always, like, if you have a human do something, as a boss or as a executive, you should, I hate saying should, but should be checking the output before it goes to other people or out to the world, because it's your reputation. Now, that doesn't change because we have AI. Okay, so for me, I always stress that AI can do all the heavy lifting. It can take away all of the stress of looking at a blank screen and going, oh my God, I've got to do content today, or oh my gosh, what do I say about this? And from that, takes out that heavy lifting. But at the end of the day, you as a human, because it is your brand and your reputation, you need to be oversighting it and editing it if need be. Sometimes I don't even edit my stuff. I read it and go, yep, beautiful, on point, out it goes. Which you can still schedule, but there's got to be that stop gate there.
Double check.
Yep, that double check, the stop gate, whatever you want to call it, a human has to overlook it. And, you know, I have had full-on, probably not arguments as such, but full-on heated conversations, I'll say, with so-called AI gurus and experts, and where they say, oh, no, you can just automate the whole process and have it go from the computer coming up with the AI coming up with the idea, or you put in the ideas, and then it goes straight out and straight onto your social media. And I'm like, there's no stopgate there. There is no
and you know what?
There.
And I just want to, if you don't mind me adding a little thought here, and I just want to say hello to Saimaya as well. Thank you. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's great to hear real-time conversation rather than glorifying business and results. Well, we're not about glorifying anything here, but we will say that we love it anyway. And so thank you. I was
going to say real conversations.
Exactly. And we have Royce here, who is like, you know, a fantastic copywriter. And I think, you know, we can argue that AI can write really well, especially if you personalize it. Yep. And especially if you're not born copywriter, not all of us are, right? Or we can either we struggle to think about content and then putting it out. And I guess to the gurus out there in AI who say you can just automate it all. Yes, you can. But if you want your personality to come through, even when you have coded it, if you want a little bit more of the human touch, I highly recommend that you do go back, like you said, just to double check, is it really on point? Is it really showing up exactly like you want it? And do you have a little extra? And this is the thing where, because it can get really boring, because we can, you know, just in terms of the same output coming out and again and again. What can you put in that makes it a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit, even when you have, you know, tailored it and customized it? I always think there's a chance to go back in and make it a little bit more personal, or a little bit more human, or a little bit surprising.
Well, sometimes it's just a little tweak of your insight. Yeah. You know, like AI, you can train it on your insights, but the way that I do it after I've trained all of the AI is that it's in the prompt. So if there's something special, like I might have gone to an event, or I might have taken my dog for a walk and bumped into someone and had a conversation. Do you know what I mean? It's that personalization And that
which
little
the AI
insight,
can't know that you just had a conversation with someone on the street.
No.
Or if it's responding to someone you actually know personally, putting that little in, like little, you know, that little special in that recognizes, hey, you know, like if it's you, Tracey, hey, Tracey, you know, just adding a little bit in around something referral to that we know each other, that it makes it like that's a human. Because looking at social media, when it just feels like it's just rewriting
so
my content for me. Thank you very much for rewriting and saying you like it. Yeah.
Well, I know, like honestly,
versus actually having your own thought on it. It's two different things, right?
The comment section of LinkedIn is ridiculous. Please don't comment on my stuff. And I'm sure you're the same, Christine. Don't comment on it unless you actually are a human and have insights and want to add value, because LinkedIn actually likes it when you add value to someone's post. And, you know, you can even add a little bit of, you know, gratitude on, say, Christine's written a post.
Small things, yeah.
You know, it's just little things, you know, it's like, oh, wow, I really loved your insight on da-da-da-da-da. I've experienced this, da-da-da-da-da, and then ask a question, because it's that humanity, engagement, conversation that the LinkedIn algorithm absolutely loves. So, you know, and that's that sort of aspect to it. And
I love that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So, but that's the human side of AI, you know, and that's the little tweaks. That's the little tweaks. But
it's so big, small but big, right? We don't want extra work. We just want to, especially for people we care about. Some people where it's just, you know, showing up to, you know, there's something to be said for just, I guess, supporting others, especially when people you don't know, that's fine. But for people you know, just add that in, because other people might notice that and go, oh, Tracey's actually on here. It's actually her personally. Just want to say, Lisa P said, very inspiring, ladies. Thanks so much. I have to run to another meeting. See you on the flip side. We got Gary here as well, stopping by. No stop gate to my personal or professional feed. Nope, it's like a self-driving car, question mark. Self-driving air flight, AI medical prognosis. Oh my God, it's scary.
That's scary, because as much as we're laughing, Gary, there are people out there that do that. So it is really scary. Like, you can tell when someone hasn't put any, and I'm polarizing and I know that, but, you know, I did a whole post about emails, you know, I hope this email finds you well. And oh my gosh, if I get another one of those, I'm going to slap the person. But it's just lazy. I'm sorry, but social media is just that. It's social. And if there are some, you know, I know LinkedIn has its AI bots to do comments and things like that. Yeah. But you can at least use that as a base and then change it up a bit, you know, and add your flair into it. Because I'm sorry, you sound like everyone else and you're boring. Like, let's not be boring on social media. Let's actually inject some personality into social media. And, you know, I know with my clients, I love them to bits, the ones that I have, and totally value them. And they love me because I take the essence of them and I inject it into their AI persona. So, and then they just do the last little bit, and it's about using the tools correctly to save you time, because as a solo business owner, as a small business owner, as a coach, a consultant, whatever, your time is valuable. Your time costs money. And, you know, I know social media is part of business. It has to be these days. But don't lose you in that process.
And I think, we're going to have to finish up now, but I could keep talking with you for sure. But the one thing I will say is, people say, well, you know, it's just about being on there and just being seen. And I agree, you've got to be seen, because it's, you know, awareness is key, top of mind is key, awareness is key. But if they don't remember you, then have you achieved nothing by just showing up all the time? So I see people who are liking, you know, 300 people a day. The AI is liking at least 300 coming, or 300 people, so they can get their numbers up, right? But if you don't show me your personality and I get a sense of who you are, and so I can remember you, then you're just someone who shows up, but I just see your name, but it means nothing to me.
Well, Christine, something I'd love to leave it on this. Something someone told me once about networking, the good old Scotty Schindler. He said, you can show up at networking all you like, but it's them remembering how you made them feel is what will get you that connection. And business is all about connection. So
exactly.
I'll leave it there.
Totally right. Maya, I use that quote all the time from Maya Angelou. People don't remember what you say, they don't remember what you do, but they remember how you make them feel. And when I started in big advertising at Ogilvy and Mather, the number one thing as a strategist I learned was, how can I make you feel something so you remember, yeah? And we'll just finish up here. We've got some lovely people. Gary N says, I like to use AI as a tool to add to my voice, fill holes that I don't see, cross-check my thoughts. Great discussion. Love it. Thank you so much, Gary. Appreciate it.
We've got
D. We got D here as well. That's well said. Don't lose you in the process. Very true. Use it as a tool to help you grow your own capabilities. 100% agree. And Robert Schreiber, you're here. Love it. Thank you. He's wonderful. He's actually someone I met through the BX networking in Sydney, and he's wonderful. He runs it in Sydney. So thank you for being here. And thank you, Tracey, for being here. We could keep talking, but Snappy Chat is meant to be half an hour because otherwise it's definitely not chat. Oh, I was like, what are you showing us now?
I was going to say, I speak AI.
I'm like, oh.
I walk around with my robots all the time.
I love it. You got your own robot. I love that. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. It was a great conversation with you, Tracey, and in the chat, too. So we had a lot of engagement. So Royce, this has been awesome, ladies. Thank you so much, Royce. We're going to have you back on here again sometime. So thank you so much, Tracey. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you for everyone being here. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.